ahead and do it then. We're gonna go ahead and do it then. 1 2 1 2. Let me check something out real quick. I didn't want it blowing right on me. You know what I mean? What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? It's the producer Whisper again. Check it out. We're back for another live stream. Sync Hustle Mindset. It's been a good week, man. A very good, productive week. I got some things that I want to share with you guys. It was definitely educational for me. Um, as you can see, things are heating up with the writer's strike. You see, they're back at the negotiation table. And the news is funny, man. The news is, let's say that the news is optimistic. The news really wants something to happen, even though there's not really any news to report except for the fact that they're back at the bargaining table. Um, but they're very optimistic. They're very hopeful that something is going to be happening soon. And we all are, man. We all want something to happen soon. We don't want this to go on forever. But as I said in my previous live, I'm very concerned about just what the outcome is going to be, what they're going to be able to come up with, because the issues that they're discussing are streaming and AI. And we don't have to go all into that today. You can look back at the other episodes that, last couple of episodes, I think we covered a lot about AI and the strike or whatever. So um I, for one, am just curious to see what they're going to come up with, because I don't think that they're going to be able to not use AI. That's not going to happen. And streaming is already here. Streaming already pays what it pays. So we're just hoping that there's going to be something that's, beneficial to the writers. And shout out to all of the actors too for showing solidarity as well. Going to battle on the front lines and taking time off to show support, because it is an important cause. And also shout out to Drew Barrymore. She faced a lot of backlash because she did cross the proverbial picket line. And her reasoning was valid. That's why I wasn't going to be one of the ones that was calling her a scab. She was basically saying that, I have staff that is suffering. The staff that I'm responsible for, my employees, they need to eat. And those employees were willing to go back to work because, they're talking about, trying to file for unemployment. I don't know if you can do that when you go on strike because you didn't actually get fired. But she had a valid point, and she went and I think they filmed one show, and then she ended up going back on strike. I haven't really checked up on the reasons why she went back, crossed back over the picket line. But um, I hold no judgment, man, because it's got to be a very, very difficult thing to go through. No matter what side of the fence that you're on, whether you're on the studio side or the actor side or the writer side, it's just something that needs to, we need some sort of resolution for this, and the sooner the better. It's already been a third of a year, 100 and something days that they've been on strike. And usually when a strike goes this long, by the time it's a couple months in, you know it's like going almost like 6 months or something like that, around 6 months. By the time it gets to that amount of time, they're at least talking about what the resolutions could be, how we could fix this problem. They have something on the table. But it sucks because right now, from what I understand, there's not even anything really on the table right now. And again, that goes back to the type of stuff that they were actually, you know, going to the table about. That's AI and streaming. And so that's the reason I feel like it's taking so long to, you know, to get a fix for this situation, is just because the problem is something that's never been faced before. Usually in strike situations, the problems are I don't want to say standard because people feel these problems, but they're like, lower pay, better working conditions, better safety, that type of things. These things go uh hand in hand when it comes to like big companies, corporations, that kind of thing. There's always something that um leaves the workforce feeling like that, they're being neglected or underpaid or something like that or whatever. So these things happen. Um, but in this time right now, the things that they're talking about are unprecedented. We're talking about, digital streaming revenue and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence. So we don't live in the future right now. I don't know what's up. So what's up, Revision? What's up, Happy Friday? What's up, Zello? What's up, Segura? Nice to see you guys, man. Been a good week. Easton, the producer. What's up, man? How's everybody? Hope y'all had a strong week. We did, man. We out here hustling. We had a strong week. We're trying, man. We're trying. So I had a couple of you guys in here. I was just in here making sure that when people come back to the video, that there's actually some content on here, because usually when I pop on the live, I just sit here and wait, for people to pop in. But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to waste anyone's time. So I kind of jumped right into a topic. So, but yeah, I gotta acknowledge my normies, man. My OGs up in here, Segura and everything. So we can go ahead and start. I imagine, as usual, people are going to go ahead and start popping in here. So you guys can go ahead and we can get these wins. You guys know what to do. Let's get these wins popping. I'm gonna have to get me a soft box because this is showing every crack and crevice of my face, boy. I wanted quality. I guess I got it. So for those of you that don't know, those of you that are new to the live stream, every Friday we do this at 11 o'clock PST, Sync Hustle Mindset. We talk about all things sync, hustle, and mindset, right? And we always start the live stream off with wins. And what are the wins? The win is anything that you do to get any kind of step ahead from where you were the last time I saw you. And if you're new here and I didn't see you last week, then let's just gauge it by last Friday. From last Friday to today, anything that you did to put you at least half a step ahead of where you were before that, that's a win. That's getting you that little bit closer to your goal. And so we tell each other what we did this week, not everything, but the main stuff, the wins. And then we celebrate that because it's a trip. The people in this community, we really truly want to see each other win. We support each other. We even help each other when we can. We collaborate. And so that's the reason why the wins are here. And that's why we do it. So we're looking in the comments right now. Let me look over here. Cherry, what's up? We're gonna go over a few things. Sagara saying hi to everybody. Okay, so y'all pop in with the wins. I'm reading. I'm ready to get into it. We don't have a long visit with each other today because your boy got some stuff to do in the streets. I gotta hit these streets today. But with all that though, I couldn't wait to come talk to you guys. I kind of missed you guys this week. Cherry and Sagara, I know you guys got something for sure, for sure. And Eason starts it off. Okay, so Eason says, last week I signed a trailer song to Universal Production Music. Stop. I'm not even going to read the rest of that right now because that right there is big win territory. UPM is like, they are like, I don't want, if they're not the big dog in the business, they are like, top 3, top 5 big dogs in the sync business. They're, as far as libraries are concerned. And the reason why UPM is so dope, and they differ from a lot of other libraries, tons and tons of other libraries, is because Universal creates content. They create movies, they create television shows, they create video games. And so yeah, to get music into the Universal Music library is big because the opportunities for your music are endless over there. Regular libraries, APM, Jingle Punk, so on and so forth, they have clients like Universal. Universal is a client for them. But see, Universal has their own library. So they outsource when they can't find stuff or they don't get stuff in their library or whatever. So um I didn't even read his whole win, man. I just got excited about that, just so you guys know how big that is. Getting some music into UPM is big. So fire emojis for that. Fire emojis for that. Um, and it says, not sure if I mentioned this last week. Also planning on putting out a quick 6-song lo-fi EP to DSPs. That's what I'm saying, man. So fire emojis to Eason out there getting it in. He's busy. And I always encourage dropping music on the on the DSP on the ESPs on the DSPs because people are looking at you, man, especially now that we're working directly with these ad companies and we're having more and more conversations with these ad companies, and they're very adamant about these indie artists and people that are actually active in the space. You know, it's with them a lot of the time it's not just about fulfilling a need musically. Like, you know, they're trying to, you know, really level up in every way possible. And a lot of that has to do with boosting the artist's career and them have something to do with it. It's a win-win-win situation for everybody when that happens. So yeah, drop that music, uh, stay active on the DSPs, post what you're dropping, stay active with your posting, because they're looking, man. Everybody's looking at y'all right now. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later. You know, I don't want to keep, you know, knocking you guys over the head with the importance of your social media, but I'm in a unique situation right now. My space is kind of crazy because now I'm getting to talk to the people at the highest level of sync, you know, that's advertising, and really get a handle on the type of things that they're looking for and the things that they do when they're trying to procure music. You know, it takes a long time in most cases, unless you're very fortunate, somebody gives you the plug to get to, you know, direct advertisers. As and it's not because of, you know, the lack of talent, it's just because the level of music business, you know, the level of how you got to have your stuff together on that, on, you know, with them is so high that they're just very you know, picky about who they rock with. But the thing about ad companies is that once you do get to an ad company and you prove yourself, they're never going to let you go. They're going to rock with you. You can make money with the ad company for the rest of your life, like, you know, because it's high end stuff. They're not going to mess around because, you know, their clients are Toyota, McDonald's, you know, Burger King, Target, Walmart, et cetera, et cetera. These big, you know, brands, and their level of commitment to those brands is, you know, very significant. So yeah, so we're talking about the importance of posting and staying visual. Stay your butt out there, man. Get out there. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. Let me scroll back up. You guys are rolling in now. um Yeah, and let us check out that lo-fi EP. Lo-fi is not so much great for sync because it's slow tempo and lower energy, and they use the stuff that places the most is usually mid to up tempo. Well, more times than not, is mid to up tempo and more energetic stuff. But I've done probably 3 lo-fi projects for television, and when I say projects, I did EP, so that's like 30 beats I did. They all got placed. I sent them to the library, they all got placed. So, over time. So yeah, I'm loving that, man. So I'm scrolling. Want to see the fire emojis for him. Walter Bowie said, "What's up, Walter, my man?" Walter says, "I'm super excited and humbled that one of my music library partners has given me the opportunity to write the theme music for a new major network show coming out." Okay, so stop the presses, Walter. You guys get your fire emojis buttons ready. Fire emoji buttons ready. He says he's humbled that one of my music partners has given me the opportunity to write the theme song. So you're submitting, you get to write and submit and pitch for it. See, man, I'm gonna tell you. So first of all, congratulations, my brother. Fire emojis for you. Fire emojis. Fire emojis. Fire emojis. One thing I said last week to you guys, and I think I've mentioned it a couple of times before, is that yes, we are all here together because we are trying to achieve a goal. All of our goals are different, but we're trying to achieve a goal, right? We got a mission. We're trying to get somewhere. Um, you're gonna have to have a certain skill set to get there. Your music is gonna have to be a certain level of dope. We all know that. Hopefully, we're the type of people that are always trying to get better. Um, your business sense is gonna have to be proper, meaning like you're gonna have to know how to talk to people, gonna have to know the sync terminology, gonna know how to be, you know, timely and polite and this and that and all that. So yes, you can know the technical aspect, how to do the music, you can know how to reach out to people, um, and do all of the right things. and not get to where you're trying to go because you haven't made relationships. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. At the end of the day, once you guys know all of the music, you guys know how to do the music, you can score, you can, do trailer music, you can do underscore, you can, sports, you can do all that. Like you're good. You've honed in on your specialty, you're dope at something, you know, you set your emails up and this and that. You got to be good at speaking to people and planting the seed so you could water and grow these relationships, because ultimately, in order to get up the ladder in sync, in order to start getting to where you're getting paid, more and more up front, you're getting the sync fees. Um those Unfortunately, I don't want to use the word gate kept. I don't want to say gate kept because the opportunities are there for us, but because those opportunities are higher up the ladder, the people that can bestow those opportunities on us are a lot more careful about handing those opportunities out, because again, there's always someone above them. There's always someone that they have to answer to, that they have to keep a schedule with and impress and make sure that they're keeping happy. It could be a boss, a manager, it could be a client. But the thing is that they got to work that way as well. And so in your travels with this sync stuff, man, just know that all of these little things that we talk about, your social media, how you're speaking to people, your respect level, your work ethic, how fast are you turning things around, how fast are you replying to emails, how dependable are you? And these are things that are all food for feeding that relationship, for getting that relationship to a point where, like somebody like Walter's people can hit him back and be like, "Hey, man, you're somebody I rock with. You solid." They're not gonna say all that. That's corny or whatever. But you've already proven that because you have a work ethic. You were there when they needed you. You when they're not talking to you and they're not dealing with you, they're on your social media and they see how you move. That's a huge thing right there, because a lot of people are going to be judging you and seeing how you get down without even speaking to you. They're going to just look at how you move. They're going to sit back in the cut as they should, because it keeps them safe. It keeps them out of harm's way, away from drama, away from anything you could potentially do to hurt their situation or their business or whatever. And they're just going to sit back and see how you get down. And if you get down right, that, believe it or not, even before you've met them, before you've made any contact with them, has a lot to do with how your relationship is going to go, because they're coming into it not just judging your music, but they all also are building a mutual respect for you because they see your work ethic, they see how you get down, right? So, you know, just getting past the point where people think you might be a flake, or is a great, great, great thing. So, shout out to Walter Bowie, man. I hated to rant on you guys like that, but every time I see one of you guys' wins, it just makes me, you know, go into this thing. I see points where, I can let you guys know what's going on. And this one here, it's all about the relationships. These type of things happen because somebody was rocking with Walter, like we rock with Walter. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. I hope you knock it out the park. Now that they've opened the door for you, now you got to get in there and show what the hell you can do, you know and that's what sync is about. You get in how you can get in, and then once you get in, you start proving yourself and being there for people. If you are a jack of all trades, if you're good at a bunch of stuff, you will get the opportunity eventually to show that stuff if you can create and foster these relationships. But just fire emojis to Walter, man. That's dope as hell, man. I appreciate you. Kim is in here. What's up, Kim? Traveling Kim, what's up? Happy Friday. Cherry Witt says, working on building the catalog. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis to Cherry. Cherry just comes every week and just collects fire emojis for stuff or whatever. So um, I don't have to explain too much with that win right there. She's being productive, and she's putting a catalog of music together. Why? So she can stay ready and not have to get ready. That's what we do. We stay ready so we don't have to get ready. Shout out to Kim. Um, so fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis to Walter and Cherry, the lady producer. And I'm seeing and I'm seeing and I'm seeing. Okay, Revision is up next. What's up, Revision? How you doing? One of my cues was used as a reference track on a new brief this week, also starting to build a non-exclusive catalog. See, the non-exclusive catalog, man, that's the move right there. Put a catalog of music that you can go to and dig out of, so you're not always behind when people ask you for music. You got to, make stuff or whatever the situation is. It's just the smartest thing to do. Have your music ready so you don't have to get it ready. And then the reason why they used your music as a reference track is because they think you dope. Kim and I were talking about that. We've had a few briefs come in where they send us references and it's our music for the reference. And I'm like, just pick our music then. Like, it's funny, man. These companies are funny. But fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. Shout out to Wan Chi Zhang. What's up, Wan Chi? So Wan Chi is one of our new intern associates at Smash Coast, and we would like to welcome her very, very much. What's up, Wan Chi? So I'm going to explain real quick for Wan Chi because she's new. So Wan Chi, we do this every week, right? Every Friday. I'm the producer whisperer. And this is the sync hustle mindset. We call it the sync hustle mindset because it's not just about synchronization. It's about your hustle and it's about your mindset while you hustle. If your mindset is impaired, then your hustle is going to be impaired and you're not going to get to where we're going. So we educate and we have a lot of conversations about synchronization and all the things that we can do behind the scenes in order to improve our hustle and in order to get us to where we're trying to go. Some of us have certain goals in this sync game. Some of us want to be music supervisors. Some of us want to compose and have our own television shows to make music for. Um, but at the end of the day, like I was explaining before, it's a relationship based thing. You can know everything that you're supposed to know, have all the tools that you need, but someone is going to have to bring you in. Someone is going to have to say yes ultimately. Once that happens, usually they've already built up an image of you in their mind. They've looked at you on social media, you know, they know how you get down to a certain extent. But once that door opens for you guys, I'm not just talking to Wan Chi anymore. Once that door opens for you guys, you get in and you kick that door off the hinges. You make sure that you realize that you're competing with a whole bunch of other people that are in there trying to get those opportunities too. And you want to impress that person that gave you the opportunity. And you also want to show them that you appreciate the fact that you gave them that opportunity. So you work your hardest, you reply as fast as you can, you do the best work that you can. And all of these things are going to be what you need to do to build that relationship. Because trust me, a lot of these music supervisors and these people that you contact initially when you get into sync, they don't stay in these situations, forever. They'll get into situations or they'll have things come across their desk, opportunities that, they might have a movie, a colleague of theirs is working on a film or a video game or something that they have nothing to do with. But because you've built that relationship, they'll call on you, hey, so and so, do you think you could knock this out for me? I'm gonna give you this opportunity. That's what's happening to Walter. Walter got an opportunity because someone felt like, okay, he can handle this opportunity. They know that Walter's not going to make them look bad. They know that if they send Walter a brief for that situation that they want him to write the song for, he's going to be expeditious about it and he's going to get it in when he's supposed to get it in. These are all things that are relationship building qualities. A lot of guys, a lot of people, sorry, Cherry and the ladies, a lot of people get into the sync game thinking that it's solely about the music, and it's not about the music. You know, I'm gonna make a t-shirt. I think one of the biggest misconceptions about sync is that you got to have the hot music or that the music is dull. The most sought after thing in sync is a reliable source of it. There's nothing worse than a company like mine or a music supervisor finding good music, looking in that submission and seeing that the music is good, it's usable, it's something that I could rock with like from here on out, and then realizing that the person that's sending you that music isn't reliable or something to that nature. Um, it sucks, man. So shout out to Revision, and he's also on the non-exclusive catalog. So yeah, shout out, shout out, shout out, shout out. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. And Wan Chi, the reason why you're seeing all these fire emojis in the chat is because when we start the live off every week, I tell everybody to tell me what they did this week that put them any steps ahead from where they were last week. And that could be anything: watching a YouTube video, learning something, picking up a new skill, uh, getting a placement, pitching music, like anything that you did that got you any 1 inch closer to your goal. we celebrate that because in our regular lives, when we do things, our friends and our family and our colleagues, they probably don't celebrate our little wins with us. You know, a lot of people don't really care about that. Um, but here we do, and it feels good. It feels good to go to a community of people that really do want to see you win. They really do celebrate these, wins with you. There's no such thing as a little win here, and so that's the reason why you're seeing the fire emojis. And shout out to everybody for being patient while I take the time and explain it. I know you guys are veterans. Yeah, you guys are saying hi to Wan Chi, right? You just welcome her. She's Smash Coast. Mark Adams, what's up? Welcome to the live, everybody. Welcome to the live. I'm looking over. I'm looking for more wins, more wins. So Walter says, "Thank you, George. I appreciate it. You know, I got you, man. Um, I made it through the first round and got past the decision makers at the library. Now it's up to the network. See, that's what's up right there, man. That's what's up right there. And how does it feel? And the thing is that, and we're going through that right now. I'm just going to be real with you. We're going through that right now with the ad companies. We're at that point where, okay, we've gotten past, the hardest hurdle. Now it's like, okay, we're just waiting for somebody to pick up, we're getting the briefs. They're trusting us with the briefs. The briefs are heavy duty. We're sending in great music. And eventually we're going to cross that finish line and get one over there. But that's the name of the game, man. Usually in those situations, especially yours is a higher level situation where you're writing a theme song for something. So it's guaranteed that they already have somebody over there that they're rocking with for that kind of stuff that's proven. And so you got to beat them. And, that's when it comes down to the music fitting better than the music that they made. And then they're going to just have to go with yours over them or whatever. And we're going through that right now with the ad companies. We're getting, major briefs in, great payments, for the briefs. We got to beat them out. But I told you guys last week, like Smash Coast, we don't play around, man. So we're gonna beat them out. We're gonna start knocking those big ads out here real quick. And just shout out, man, to you guys, man. So inspiring. That's what's up, Walter. Congratulations. Okay, so Segura Productions says, so the last live, I ran my first sound design stream, composed a few cues for the SLS and Vanderpump Rules, and planning out the production of an upcoming drum and bass and UK garage project. Oh, I know that's gonna sound dope, man. Segura stays busy, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Popped in and watched some of that sound design video. Ugh, sound design, man. It's the same as, and I'm talking crap because only out of the highest level of respect that I have for you guys, the sound designers and the mix engineers, your brains work different. You guys are so patient and so tedious. And but we thank God for you because without you, we wouldn't have dope sounds and dope mixes. But it was like, geez, man. So you're definitely gonna, every community finds where they need to be. So you're gonna have a community of sound designers over there, for sure. Yeah, yeah, you said I saw 3 hours that passed. You're on there just hitting keys and tweaking knobs and stuff or whatever. Um, but I have to come and support. And even if it's not my thing, I will come and support if I see you. I'll just pop by and say hi and pop out or do what I need to do. But like I'm gonna support you when I see you on the live. So that's what's up. Um, okay, so we're still scrolling, still scrolling. We're still in the live section. Okay, so we're about to get into the current state of sync right now, and then a couple of opinions I have on things as I'm still looking in the comments for any added wins that might come through. I don't want to miss them because I always have to scroll up and I don't want to miss some. So just like when the president comes on TV and he tells you the current state of the union, um, what's up, you guys? I'm the producer whisperer, and this is the current state of sync. Right now, present, 9/22/23, the current state of sync is, believe it or not, very good. Sync is very good. And some people might not believe that because we see a lot of media, a lot of news about the writer strike and how much longer it could possibly go. I personally, I could be wrong. They're in negotiations right now, or they're talking right now. I don't know what they're negotiating, but they're talking. I think it's going to go on for much longer. I hope it doesn't, but I think it is. But regardless of whether it is or not, synchronization is going. I see that a lot of you guys have not slowed down at all. Reality television has picked up. So they're filming more episodes. They might be even stretching their seasons longer to squeeze in more content. Um, there's a lot of reruns cracking right now on reality television. So a lot of you guys that had music already in, reality television get collecting royalties, your royalties should see a bump because they're filling up the space that was usually occupied by the scripted television. And so yeah, advertising is still going very strong. You guys see commercials on every piece of television or every piece of media that you guys are watching, including radio and all that. Um, so that's strong. Of course, the gaming market is its own beast. It's sitting over here by itself. So we have, console gaming. We got Xbox, PlayStation, PS5, Smash Coast Music on PS5. In case you guys game, all one word. See me on Call of Duty. Um, and then you have the mobile gaming platforms, which actually, if you guys aren't hip to the mobile gaming platforms, you might want to pay a little bit of attention to that because that's where all the money is. They're paying way more money for stuff over there with the mobile gaming platforms than they are with the console gaming platforms. It's the new digital media, man. They just have more money to spend. It's the same situation. I don't know if you guys that follow sports and the whole Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless uh thing where he left and went, he got offered a crap load of money from FanDuel to have his own show. And FanDuel is digital media. It's that new media where it's like, it's really mostly operated, on your phone. So there's on digital sports betting from the phone, you know, not pay per view, but watching your sports directly from your phone or whatever, and that type of thing. Like it's a new age, and so because they're able to reach more people with these models, they're making a lot more money. They're getting a lot more revenue, and the advertisers are running over there screaming because the advertisers go where the people are. So if you guys didn't know about the mobile gaming situation, like you might want to just do a little bit of research and see if you can get some music over there. Um, their deals are different. They do buyouts sometimes um, because they're not set up for like sync licensing per se. Um, but there's money over there to make. There's money over there to make for sure. So pay attention, pay attention. Um, so Segura says mobile gaming has the most opportunities in the gaming industry, it seems like. Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. Just because there's way more mobile games now than console games, you guys see commercials all the time, League of Legends and that type of stuff. You see those commercials, those are the ones that you get music in there or you get a relationship with those folks. And that's a long bag of money for a long time. You're going to be making money for a long time with them. You get in there. So I say all that to say that the current state of music synchronization is very, very, very good. Um, and I think that it's only going to get better. For those of you that think that synchronization is saturated, you know, you're absolutely incorrect in that capacity. It's not saturated. There's still a very, very small percentage of us independent producers and songwriters and recording artists that are providing music for synchronization. The vast majority of the music that we hear in the background on television and in film and stuff is coming from libraries. Now we're supplying that music a lot of the time, but if you guys remember, traditionally television music wasn't even open to us on the outside. It wasn't, it's probably about 20, 25 years or so I'll give it 30. I'll say 30 years. I'll stretch it out a little bit. For about the last 30 years or so, 25, 30 years or so, is the only time that they've been reaching out, to outside composers. Now, one of the main reasons for this was the advent of reality television. Reality television, particularly Real World, that's one of the show that I got started on. Um, they were one of the first shows that really wanted the background music to sound like the music that their audience was listening to. And those composers for television weren't making that kind of music. They were making music for game shows and soap operas and stuff like that, sitcoms and stuff like that. And so over time, it's been more and more and more. So, but the first, so say like if it was 30 years, right? At least that first 15 years, half of that 30 years, you couldn't get producers to submit music to sync for anything. And trust me, when I first got into it and saw what it was, I went to the top of the mountaintop and was screaming to all of my peers, like, hey, man, you guys need to do this. Nobody wanted to do it. It wasn't shiny. It didn't have any excitement. There wasn't like getting signed to a record deal kind of feeling to it. Everybody thought that background music for television had to be corny or whack or that kind of thing back in the day, which it was because these composers and stuff were the ones making it. So it was whack. They didn't have people that made real urban music or pop or hip hop or whatever, making the music. They had people trying to interpret it. So it was faulty, it was whack. So it's only been in the last decade or so, right? That people like you guys are actively like, you know what, this is an option for me. This is what I want to do with my music. All of us, I'm sure at some point, if not right now as well, wouldn't mind getting a record deal or having that level of fame or popularity, or at least that level of income. But since you guys have been doing your thing, most of you probably don't want to deal with a record label because you know how the business structure is with record labels, and you know that if you're on the creative side of that deal, you're going to be getting the short end of the stick of that deal. And so that's why a lot of us like sync licensing, because we get to make the music that we want to make for the most part. It's still fun making music. We have a purpose. We get to make these relationships. We have real clients. We can earn income, and we could do it well into, like, you see these hairs, man. You see these. I've been letting them grow. Um, you can do it well into your 40s, 50s, 60s. Like, we have people had a couple people on the team that were like 70 years old. you know they had hell submitting music because they didn't know how to use the emails and the tools that we have to actually get the music to us or whatever. That was an issue. But I say all that to say that, yeah, synchronization is something that you can do. you know Once you get it in and start doing it, you can do it forever. um and then, okay, let me look over here. Easton says, I love staying in the background. I do too, man. I do too. When I was younger and I wanted to be famous, you're young, you don't know. I really thought that, I wanted that type of lifestyle. I've got a little older and I realized that's not what I want. I would like that level of recognition for my work. I would like enough of those people, you know, millions of people to know that I was dope producing music. But what comes with that, celebrity status, not being able to eat at restaurants, people walking up to you all the time and that kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, it's flattering, but like, I don't have the type of personality for that. I would be uncomfortable with people always walking up to me. I would be uncomfortable. One of the things that I do in my spare time, when I do get a little spare time, is I'm an avid foodie. I love going out to restaurants, and the whole restaurant experience is dope to me, from the service to the presentation to the food, the ambiance. Like, I get into all that, right? I love going out to eat. I wouldn't be able to do that if I was famous. It would have to be private places, and let me shut the restaurant and so I can go eat type of stuff or whatever. Like, I don't think I would like that. It would be cool, like at the very beginning, I think, but I like the whole experience. I like being around people. I like being able to move freely. So yeah, being able to have enough, fame, income, or at least a good sizable income, a good comfortable income, and then still have that anonymity. It's a great thing. I've been able to build a career out of sync licensing, and I can go anywhere and do what I want to do, and nobody bothers me. Nobody knows me, and it's a good thing. So I'm reading. Um, Being famous comes with a lot of baggage that doesn't sound exactly appealing. And that's Sagara Productions. Exactly. Now, and Cherry says, now that it's popular, we're all superstars. My family's bragging like she does music for movies. Well, you know what? You do. And you guys are superstars. Cause let me tell you, I was talking to Tay the other day. You guys getting your music on television is not any less difficult than you getting your face on television. So when you look, it might not be that main actor with on camera. It might be that person, sitting at the table eating in the background. You know, I used to do that when I first moved out here. Joined the little casting, central casting, and they were sending us out to do background work or whatever. And um yeah, you get to a point to where you're featured in something like that. That takes like usually years of dedication and acting classes and that kind of thing. And then at the end of the day, yeah, somebody's got to like you. Somebody's got to say, yes, you can have this chance to be on television or whatever. It's the same thing. Um, and the same level of the same level of the same there's different degrees of which we can place the music. Sorry, you guys, I'm fumbling. We can place the music just like a person acting. So a person acting can be like deep background, just walking in the background on the sidewalk, you barely notice them if at all. Or a person can be like, like uh in the background, but still, like now you see them like they might have a line, you bump into them like, hey man, get out of here or something like that. Or they could be the star of the show. The whole sitcom or the whole drama could be about them, or they could be the feature person. Music, it's not going to be about the music, but you guys know what I'm saying. It could be deep background music, or it could be featured, it could be trailer. I've had every type of placement. So there's placements where the music is buried so far in the background you don't notice it, and it's behind a bunch of stuff, a bunch of action or a bunch of dialogue. And then there's placements where the music is the only thing. There might not be any dialogue, it might just be a visual or something, right? Where the music is featured like that. And that's not easy to get to. One of Tay's placements, was a featured Tom Brady promo from, everybody was on Tom Brady's butt from, for whatever. And to get on TV with your music is no less celebratory than getting yourself on TV. So you are a superstar. This is no joke. A lot of people take that lightly. Like, what we're doing is a big deal. You're putting your music on television. It's television, man. You're putting your music in movies and video games. Like, these are the things that we grew up watching and playing and stuff or whatever. Now you get to participate. To the average person that's outside of this, it's rock star status. They don't know anything, nor do they care. Nor do they care. No one cares. No one cares about how many placements you get, unless it has something to do with them or benefits them. But they do see it in a certain light. And to us, because we do the work and we do grind and we do bleed and sweat and cry and fuss over it, we know that what goes in behind it. Um, all they see is the outcome, right? And so, yeah, they think we're rock stars, superstars. We are, but we're also hard workers that are dedicated to our craft. And yes, it's a big deal. So fire emojis to yourselves, fire emojis to yourselves for real. Like I said last week, you guys chose the harder route. You could have just chose the 9 to 5 route, ignored your talent, listen to the haters. But now you decided to put yourself out there for public consumption. That's gutsy as hell. Now you're just gonna put yourself out there and just take the comments, take the criticism, even the negative criticism when people didn't believe in you, or they might not have celebrated your music, or they might have thought your tracks weren't that hot or whatever. You kept going, you didn't quit. Now you got to a point where your music is, getting pitched or getting picked for stuff or whatever. So you guys are rock stars, man. You guys chose the hardest route and you still here doing it. So absolutely. Absolutely rock star status. And damn, Cherry, you have come on, man. The movie just came out. The Ninja Turtle joint just came out. Very popular, very cool movie too, by the way. I liked it. Um, so yeah, and then you haven't been in the game that long. So to be knocking it out like that already, like, yeah, it's only up for you. That's a big deal. Yeah, I see. And you guys are saying that's very true. Yeah, it is because even myself, man, when I first started getting placements, it was so exciting for me to hear my placements on television, right? I would have uh I had my girl or whoever was around, not whoever was around, like whoever I was dating, like it was my girlfriend or whoever friend was around that happened to notice my music. They would call me and tell me, "Hey man, I think I heard your beats on TV." And it would be so excited and so exciting. And then I would like actively like listen for my music on television, right? And then over time, my girlfriend would tell me, "Hey babe, I heard a piece of your music on such and such a show." And I'm like, I didn't blow it off like that, but like I had gotten used to it. And that's like all things, like no matter how exciting it is at first, it is work and you get used to it. And then, after that, after you've gotten used to it for a while, you could start taking it for granted, right? And I don't want to say I got to that point where I was taking it for granted, but I was definitely like, some more of my stuff on TV. That's what I do for a living. Of course, it's going to be on TV. Not being a smartass like that, but I lost that love and feeling because I was working so hard. Don't do that. Don't lose the love and feeling for what you do because what we do is really, really, really dope. It is going to be work. After you're doing it for a few years, you're going to be like, okay, you know, don't let the love affair wear out. Keep the honeymoon going with this because it's dope what we do. And at the end of the day, it's an incredible, 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 incredible accomplishment to get your music on a TV show one time. If you got one piece of your music on one television show or in one movie forever, and that's all you did, that's a incredible accomplishment. If you never did it again among your peers in your neighborhood or around you, um, you're still probably going to be the only one that's ever happened to. And they're going to brag on you like, yeah, you remember 12 years ago, Cherry had a song in the Ninja Turtles movie, you know? So it really is a big deal to just get one. So if you're getting more than one, if you're making a career out of it, if you're doing all of the stuff that you guys are doing, working in the background, learning all of the stuff that you guys are learning, building the relationships, more importantly, making the mistakes, falling down on your faces and getting back up, not quitting, staying in the game until you get somewhere. You guys are superstars, man. That's just all there is to it. When you guys look at yourself in the mirror, just realize that you're standing out. And it might not feel like that sometimes. That's why we have these lives. That's why we talk to each other because we got to remind ourselves that what we're doing is not common. It's not an easy route and it's not a common route. As you see, there's a lot of producers that you guys know, a lot of songwriters that you guys know, artists, especially that you guys know that you can't get to do this, and it makes perfect sense to us, right? So, yeah, you guys are rock stars. Fire emojis for everybody. Let me go down in the comments real quick. Easton says, I definitely started off with everybody saying my music sound like video game music, like the 8-bit, 16-bit game music, but I pushed through. Cherry put that work in. We're all putting work in. Ninja Turtles is big. Cherry says, sometimes it's hard to celebrate yourself after being knocked around for so long. You know what? That's what the trap wants you to feel like. That's what the trap wants you to think like. But it's actually the opposite of that. You are the vehicle to your success. You are the vehicle to where you're trying to get to. So you have to have the right mindset. You are responsible for making sure that when you wake up in the morning that you're happy when you wake up. One of the reasons of how I do this, and I know it's going to sound corny, I said it before on the live or whatever, is, and these gray hairs have a lot to do with it. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I don't give a damn what anybody thinks. I went through a lot of my life having self-esteem issues, right? I got to a point to where I realized I was special. I do stand out. I'm not like the average dude. The stuff that I'm telling you guys, giving you guys praise for, I did that. I had a million opportunities, including this autoimmune disease thing that I got to quit, to stop, from family members thinking I was crazy, from friends thinking I was going to fail, from me getting sick doing this. And being out here in LA trying to survive and working a million part-time jobs. And I was a dog bather for 2 years out here, man, at a doggy daycare. I learned how to train dogs, but I was a serious dog bather. I was bathing 30 dogs a day for the damn near the first 2 years I got out here. So dues have been paid. I know I'm special because I know that out of the couple hundred guys I know in my life, I don't know too many guys that would have did what I did, right? And just like you guys can look around in your lives right now, you know most of the people aren't going to do it how you guys are doing it. They're not going to hustle how you guys are hustling. They're not going to stick with it like the way you guys are sticking with it. They're not going to invest in it the way that you guys are investing in it. They're certainly not going to be able to bounce off the negative criticism like you guys are doing. Like Cherry just said, sometimes it's hard, after being knocked around. But the thing is that you get up, and most people don't. We get up, and most people don't. Sometimes all it takes is that negative comment or that negative criticism to make a person quit, to make them lose confidence. And then you don't know how people are raised. You don't know if they're raised with a lack of confidence, what was going on in their lives or whatever. So for you guys to get to this place where you are right now, where you're in a community, you guys have equipment, you guys are making music, you guys are learning, improving your skills, you're reaching out there, exposing yourself to the world, doing these things, putting yourself out there on the line of what out there. These are the things that the people do that make the world turn. A lot of people just ride on the ride. You guys are being proactive. Wan Chi, she's in school right now, but she's doing this internship with us, killing it, doing what she needs to do to be proactive and learn. Like a lot of people aren't doing that. A lot of people is like, let me just, I'll graduate high school, I'll go get a job at 7-Eleven, or I'll go get a job wherever I hire me, Amazon, and I'll deliver whatever. And the thing about it is I'm not knocking that. There's nothing wrong with that because every piece of the puzzle is necessary in order for us to see the big picture. That's how the world works. We need every one of us is necessary. I just want you guys to have perspective on where you fit in the big picture and who you guys are and what you are. And you guys are phenomenal and extremely exceptional because most people take the safe route. Most people take the structured route. You guys are out here figuring it out on your own, right? You know, getting on YouTube and having conversations and networking and that kind of stuff. And it's just incredible. It's incredible. So when you look in the mirror, you know, feel cocky, feel a little bit confident because it's not just about your music skills. I mean, yeah, there's going to be somebody doper than you and there's going to be somebody that you're way doper than, but your character and your work ethic is what makes you incredible. Um and when I say character, I gush over you guys a lot when I come on here, and I don't mean to be corny about it, but the fact that you guys are, you're collecting this knowledge, you're getting your skill set up, you're reaching out, you're getting these opportunities, getting your placements, pitching stuff, doing what you need to do. But the incredible thing is that you're coming into these communities and you're sharing your experiences, you're sharing your knowledge. Hey, you guys, maybe you could do this, or maybe you could do that, reach out to so and so, or makes it better like this, or maybe I can help you do that, or whatever. That shows a level of maturity and confidence that is just, you don't see it. You guys know, man. It's like our sync communities are smaller, hell, small is very small. So once you leave this community and we go back out into our regular stuff, you see what it is. You see how people are, you see how people work, you see the work ethics and all that kind of stuff or whatever. Um, what you probably don't see enough is yourself. Okay. Look at yourself in the mirror. I don't care if you get up in the morning and you give yourself a big up and be like, I'm an incredible person. I'm one of those people that make the world spin. And then you go out and you keep making the world spin. If you feel like this about yourself, okay, if you're confident about yourself, if you feel like you are the actual shit that you are, pardon my French, um, you're gonna operate that way. You're gonna make sure that you stay away from negative relationships. You're gonna stay away from negative people. You're gonna, really gravitate towards the opportunities that are good for you. You're gonna educate yourself because you know that the smarter you are, the better you are, the further you'll go. You'll do these things to make sure you put yourself in the best position always when you feel good about yourself. When you feel like you are worth it, when you feel like you're an incredible person. And there's nothing egotistical or arrogant about that. You just have to know what it is, and when you compare yourselves to others, then you'll see the difference. You'll see, I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. I'm not even comparing myself to everybody. I told you before this rant, I don't really give a damn what nobody thinks about me. I don't care what the world thinks. I have an opinion of myself that trumps all of that. So there's nothing anybody out there could say. I don't care about that. I feel like I'm great, and not in an arrogant way. And so the greatness that I have, I bestow on others. I teach people, I tell people, I help people, and that's a greatness that the world needs. And you guys all have that. So it's dope, 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 dope. Um, so yeah, don't be worried about getting knocked around, man. That's fuel. And Cherry says, being in here is the best place to be to unlearn the negativity. Yeah, man. And it is, and that's another point. You guys are always giving me these rant points. All negativity is a learned activity. You learn how to be negative, and it's usually taught to you by someone that's negative, that's gone through something that um traumatize them, and then that's how they know to communicate with you. Soon as you say you want to do something, oh, that's not going to work. Why are you doing that? Da, 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 da. And that's what we need to realize, is that when you put yourself out there and someone doubts you, it's themselves they're doubting. They're not doubting you. How can they doubt you? You're the one that had the guts to do it. So they're showing you that you're not worthy of doubt. You're showing them that you're not worthy of doubt. You're showing them by having the guts to even jump out there and start trying to do it, that you believe it can be done, right? They won't even try to do it because they don't believe it can be done. See what I'm saying? So it's like, being concerned or worried about what someone like that thinks doesn't make any sense, because you're really operating on totally different frequencies. You're operating on a frequency of can, will, and do, and they're a can't, won't, and don't, and it don't match up. So I don't listen to them. And the only reason that we do listen to them is because we learn how to listen to them. And then there's not enough people like us around. There's not enough people that are like, F that. Be positive. Believe in yourself. You don't know how to believe in yourself. Let me show you. Let me help you how to do it. You trying to get somewhere in life? I'm trying to go there too. Let's lock arm in arm. I'll help you up. You help me up. There's no such thing as a crab in the barrel mentality, because everybody can climb out of the damn barrel. As long as we keep, extending a leg or an arm or some kind of help, we can all get out. So it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Okay, I told you it wasn't going to be long today. We're just going to talk about the wins. We're going to talk about the state of sync, which we already did. Next week, we're going to get back into, I have another AI update for you guys, because there's a bunch of tools out there that we can use. Yeah, so that's it. Let's do a quick Q&A real quick. Anything. Let's talk about sync. Let's talk about music. Let's talk about business. Let's talk about something. Quick Q&A. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We'll wrap it up and get out of here. You guys get to your Friday. And I got to get to work. Yeah, there's some new AI stuff, man. Not just for music, but for visuals and for workflow and that kind of stuff. I saw something this week. I can't get into it because I could do a whole episode on this, but it just like, it tripped me out. If you make visuals for your content, so music videos, or you're doing a lot of YouTube videos or whatever, I saw something yesterday, as a matter of fact, that was just, it was just simply just and man, with the kind of stuff on the horizon that's coming, our workflows are going to be way more efficient. We're going to be able to get way more done. Our music should get way better than we're able to make it. Yeah, but that's next week. Has anyone heard about the sale of BMI? You know what? Let me look that up since I'm on here with you guys real quick. That's something that type in sale of BMI. Okay, so it says here, In late August, Billboard reported that BMI is in serious discussions to sell itself to New Mountain Capital for $1.7 billion with a B as in boy, as in boy. That's a lot of money. Wow. Wow. Um, Less than a year after the organization announced it was switching for a nonprofit model. Okay, and that's all it said. Okay, now let me go to the little points. As a nonprofit organization, since its inception over 80 years prior, the Goldman Sachs News signaled a major shift for BMI and was rumored to include a possible sale to outside firm, which I already named. Yeah, so that's basically what they're saying in the news, man, is that they said that they could sell it. They're in talks right now. And it's obvious by the lack of information that they're putting the kibosh on things. They're trying to, yeah. Or there's just not anything to say yet. They don't want the public to know because, I mean, a $1.7 billion deal, they don't want the details of that out in the street yet until it's finalized or whatever. I'm surprised that we even heard about it. Now, what we're concerned about, as I see is in another headline, it says Music Business Worldwide says songwriters are worried about BMI's private equity sale. Yeah, because we're just worried about is anything going to get shaken up? Are we going to still keep getting our royalties? Is there going to be a disruption period? That kind of thing. I don't think so because of the type of company that it is. I don't think we have to worry about that. There might be some changes into the way that they operate, but and then yeah, it's not even letting me see this article unless I sign up to it, and I'm not gonna do that or whatever. So to answer your question, no, for me, not a lot of news. They now charge $75 to join as a writer. I mean, we've been spoiled for years with that type of thing, but you gotta pay to play. You gotta imagine sometimes that's gonna happen. We're gonna have to start paying money. Any more questions? Next question. Next question. We are in a Q&A. I am the producer whispers, looking down here in the comments. So if I have direct contact to a network, I would need a publishing company, correct? Girl, let me tell you something. All of you guys should have your publishing anyway. Okay. Synchronization isn't about just signing two publishers. It's about having your publishers because a lot of the opportunities that you get can be direct where you don't have to deal with a publisher. Smash Coast is a publisher. So yeah, we're responsible for taking the music, pitching it, getting it out there. If you get to a place where you don't need a Smash Coast, like when I was a music producer, I never signed to a company. I'm still a music producer, but when I was producing for television, I never signed to a Smash Coast. I never signed to a library. All of my connections were directly to music supervisors and directly to the people. Now, keep in mind, it was a different time. I could walk right up into Bruno Murray back then, but now you can't get past security. It's a different time. It's harder to reach these people than it was then. So that's why there's way more, publishing companies, way more libraries and catalogs to take your music and pitch your music for you. But if you're one of those people who have that hustle, Sagara Productions, Cherry, the lady producer, um, and you do get that connection directly with a music supervisor, which they do love that. Music supervisors, like the direct connect. In fact, I would go out on a limb and say that music supervisors would prefer a direct connection because it makes them feel all warm and fuzzy to have a relationship with a real music creator, a real singer, a music producer, or whatever. That's cool to them. There's still that cool factor there, or whatever. The reason why it doesn't happen overall as much is because us music producers and artists and stuff don't have our shit together. We don't have our business together. So or we're not reliable. So they can't depend on that person specifically, but they can depend on a Smash Coast because a Smash Coast is an established company that is reliable, that is vetted, and so on and so forth. And so that's why they go to publishers, because their publishers, as I said, is a reliable source of the music, which is the most important thing in sync, is a reliable source of the music. But if you can prove yourself to be a reliable source of the music and not go to a publisher, then you need to have your publishing, because When you sync a piece of music, now take notes, boys and girls, because this is basic sync 101. When your music gets on television, right, it generates a royalty. Okay. We're not going to talk about broadcast and streaming because it's a different royalty rate. But I'll get into the broadcast royalty rates as um put together by myself many years ago, just by looking at the amount of money I was getting and how the money was coming in. So we kind of, put together the fact that if your music is getting played on television, depending on what station it's getting played on and what time of day it's getting played on, you're getting anywhere from, and this is like roundabout, but this is definitely in the ballpark. We're in the ballpark. You're getting 12 to $15 a second for your placement. Okay. And we came up this with by taking a number of placements, looking at the where they were getting placed at, how long the placements were for how many seconds, and how much they paid out. And on average, we were getting 12 to $15 a second on television for low end placements. Now, when I say lower end placements, I mean deep cable, cable that we don't watch, maybe Lifetime or something like that. Um, uh Time of day that's not popular, so middle of the day, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever. Those are low royalty rates, because the higher the royalty rates go up based on the viewership. Okay. And based on also where, what networks, so networks that they're getting played on, networks versus cable. So streaming is out of it. There's no streaming royalties or whatever. So if you get a piece of music placed on, say, like a network, CBS, during prime time, which is I think 7 to 11 p.m., um, then the royalty rate goes up drastically. If then we're talking about, you know, 30, $45 per second, maybe even $50 per second. You see some of those placements, they come through, they're just a few seconds long, but they pay a few $100, rather than just a couple, maybe just $100 or something like that for a few seconds. Um, but the royalty rate changes depending on where your music is played, and the network it plays on and the time of day that it places on. Okay. So going back to your publishing, no matter where it places, what time of day it places, or how much money it generates. Now, this is where you need to take your notes at, guys and girls and ladies and boys and girls. It generates the same amount of money on the publisher side and the writer side simultaneously. So your music generates publishing royalties and writers' royalties simultaneously. Okay. If you don't have a publisher to collect that publisher side, you have your publishers collect that publisher side. That way you get paid the full amount for the placement. The placement generates, like I said, money on both sides of the fence. The correct terminology is sides. Okay. So the publisher is a side, the writer is a side. When you get direct contact with a music supervisor, the music supervisor might hit you and be like, "Hey, Cherry," or "Hey, Zello, um, I got an opportunity for you. It's blase, blase, blah. It pays $3,500 a side." Now, what does that mean? I want to see it in the comments. This is a test. If I say it pays $3,500 a side, how much is the placement paying? Let me see in the comments real quick. 7K, exactly. So that's how the placement works. So in a normal situation with us, we get that 7K placement, we get 3,500. Eason gets 3,500. Zello gets 3,500. Cherry gets 3,500. If you got that placement directly with the company, directly with the music supervisor, directly with that source, that whole $7,000 is yours. But if you don't have your publishing in order, right? That said, that $3,500 for the publishing still gets generated, even if there's no publisher to collect it. Then it'll sit there in ASCAP for, I think, 2 years, I think it is. It'll sit there until you create a publishing company and go collect your money, because the registration is going to have the entitled parties on there. But if there's no publisher, yeah, BMI keeps it. So if there's no publisher and you don't come to collect that money that's generated, yeah, they keep that money. It goes into their pot. Now you talk about an income stream. Now, how many people do you think out there that are on BMI and ASCAP are not educated enough to realize this? They're getting their writers because they want to get paid their writers royalties. They don't even realize they're supposed to be a publisher as well. I was like that. The dude that I was rocking with didn't tell me about this when we first started rocking. So the first couple years when we was making music, getting placements together, I didn't even know I was supposed to have publishing like that, you know? And then I eventually got my publishing. He knew, but I didn't know. Right. So publishing got collected and I didn't know about it. I was ignorant. So there it is there. So you guys know, um, if you don't have your publishing, set your publishing up. Um, your publishing can also be used uh to do deals with people. You can do co-pub deals with people where you guys can both. So say like if you're a writer and you do a deal with somebody where they have the connection to get something on TV, then you guys can do it, and it's direct, and you guys could do a co-pub deal where you split the publishing and you split the writers. Now you guys are, you're both eating. Or one of you can get the writers and one of you can get the publishers, like, in a situation with Smash Codes. It's all a 50-50 deal. You sign to a Smash Codes, it's 50-50. It feels different because you're using the terms of we're the publisher, you're the writer. But at the end of the day, we don't get any more money than you get. It all generates the same amount of money. It's a side. We collect on this side because we did the work. If you did the work, then you get the money, you get that money. The publisher is the person that's doing the work to get the music from the studio to the media, right? You know, I say do both. Those of you that can, a lot of you can, a lot of us don't have that kind of skill set. We need publishers and libraries. We're busy in our lives. We're artistic. We're doing these things or whatever. But if you can get direct connections, then get direct connections as well. So some of your placements can be full on publishing and writers, and you can get paid double what you normally would have gotten paid as a writer. So you guys with me? So to answer your dope question, Cherry, yes. No matter what the situation, if you don't have your publishing, every single one of you, go get your publishing. Go to BMI too. I'm ASCAP writer. I wish I had switched up. We'll see. No, they're switching up their format now, so we'll see. But like, choose who you feel comfortable with. But definitely, if you don't have your publishing set up, pay it a couple $100 and get your publishing set up. Now that doesn't mean that every situation you gotta, well, what about my publishing? Now you're still gonna be like writer most of the time in most of the situations, but you want to be prepared when those situations come up where you can utilize your publishing or do negotiations with your publishing. Or collect money from your publishing. You don't want to be missing out on money. So those of you that have had direct connections, and this is going to suck, and have gotten placements through direct connections, and you didn't have your publishing set up, you only got paid half of what you were supposed to get paid on the royalty side. I did that for like 2 years, so it stings when you realize like your annual income could have been double just because of a mistake you made, just because of some information that you didn't have. That's crazy. If we are releasing our own singles, we need pub too. Yes, you need your publishing. 100%. That's the moral of the story. Stop doing this business stuff with your music without your publishing. Get your publishing. No matter what. No matter what you're doing, you move around with it. And since this is coming up, then we're going to start having more conversations about the significance of your publishing, the difference between your publishing on the record label side of the fence as opposed to the sync side of the fence, all the benefits and this and that. But yeah, this is obviously something we need to start talking about, and we're going to start talking about it. But yes, you need to have your publishing 100%, and that's all of you. All of you need to have that. So you guys are putting out your music on DSPs like you just did, publishing. You know, you're the publisher. If you're, like I said, the publisher is the person that's putting the work in, that's getting the music out there, you know. So if that's you, in other scenarios, that would be us. You would do the music, you send it to us. We would go get the clients. We would go reach out to We'll get that music out there. So we're the publisher. If you're doing that, which is, releasing the music out on the DSP without no one in between you and them doing it, then you're the publisher. You just published your own stuff without your publishing. Don't put your music out there in the world without having your publishing. Because say what happens is like, say it's some music that you're not syncing, right? It's out there on the DSP. Sorry, I know this looks crazy, but my eyes itching. Out there on the DSPs, and you get approached. Say a record label is like, hey man, the single's blowing up. We want to do a single deal with you, or whatever. You don't have your publishing, right? You don't have anything to negotiate with. They're going to throw a bag of money at you. Then they're going to jump in and like assume the publisher position, which they're going to do that anyway. But at least if you have your publishing first and they talk to you and they say, hey, your singles, got a million streams, we want to do something with it. You'd be like, okay, well, you're going to have to give me a bag for the publishing. I know you guys want to be the publisher. You guys want to do that so you can collect on the back end as well. I understand that, business is business. So you can go ahead and write that check, and I'll give you the publishing for this single, right? Or give you a piece of it. The thing about it is that if you don't own your publishing, you can't negotiate. You have no leverage. So you can either sell your publishing, you can negotiate for a piece of it, but you have options when you have it. If you don't have it, you don't have no options, right? So yes, get your publishing 100%. Sha, where you been, man? Sha says business must be in order. I heard that. Well, welcome back, Sha. Nice to see you. MC Sha up in here. And she been gone for a minute, man. So let's give a couple fire emojis to Sha real quick and welcome her back, man. We missed you. There we go. You know how we do, Sha, man. Let's give her some love. We're at the end of it though, so we're in the Q&A, and they're killing me with the Q with the Q's. I'm trying to come with the A's. So any more real quick, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Shout out to all the new people that came this week. Shout out to the interns, Wan Chi. One thing I will rant about real quick, really quickly, that I do notice as far as creatives are concerned, um, and I guess this is really going out to the recording artists, um, and the people that are releasing music on the DSPs. Um, One thing that I've noticed, even coming up as an artist back in the day myself and a producer, is that one thing that we tend to do as creatives as is we mimic, especially if something becomes popular. We hear a style of music on the radio and it's blowing up and everybody likes it. Then the next time we get in the studio, we tend to do this. We tend to lean towards this. Um, and get to a point where we're doing that too. Well, if it's working, I might be able to do it and it'll work for me. Don't do that. Don't do that. The best thing that we can do as individuals is just that, be individual when it comes to creating music. There's only one Michael Jackson. There's only one Whitney Houston. There's only one Drake. There's only one Lil Wayne. There's only one of all of these people, but you have all of these people that try to emulate them. Look at Megan Thee Stallion. Okay, now I'm not a fan of the type of music that she does. It's very raunchy and that kind of stuff or whatever. But and she's not the first person to do it, but in recent history, like she's the chick. Nicki Minaj was before her, but Nicki wasn't as raunchy as Megan. Megan is a little bit more hood with it. And but now look at all of the women that all of a sudden feel like they need to talk like Megan. There's a whole bunch of, Sexy Red, and there's a whole bunch of females out there that are following that same format. I'm talking about, I'm not going to say what they're talking about, but you guys know what I'm saying, and they're copycats. Um, Megan is going to be the standard for that. Everyone else is forgettable. They're just basically adding on to something that was already there when they could really be original and stand out. When it comes to songs for sync, because synchronization covers every style of music in every type of scenario, from action films and chase scenes to romantic comedies and everything in between, science fiction and all that. um uh you got to be able to do both. So when it comes to creating songs, say like for film, they like original stuff. Be as original as you can. one of the briefs that we were just trying to fill about a week ago was calling for some very, very original sound and stuff. And they don't like copycat stuff. Of course, you're going to have those situations where you got to make what the client wants. You got to make what's popular and this and that. But don't lose yourself, man. When you guys sit down to cook music, you recording artists, be original. Make music from your soul, man. Make music from your experiences. Make music from the place you are, from who you are. Don't just copycat and just add on to a bunch of stuff that's out there, because we need new music. Sync is always in need of new music. Us fans of music, we're all always in need of something new and fresh, something to come out that's gonna, change the whole narrative and change the paradigm. And you guys have all that in you. You're that talented. So don't copycat, man. I've just been seeing a lot of copycats, especially in the rap game. Jeez, rappers are all saying the same thing. It could just be one rapper blended in one song, and basically you guys share a song and share one rapper, and it's all the same thing. It's crazy to me. So be original. So I was gonna kind of put that rant next week because it kind of goes into some stuff I want to bring up to you guys next week, but it was on my mind and in my heart. So I wanted to tell you guys that a lot of you guys probably don't need to hear that, not in this community, but I say what's on my mind. So quickly, any questions real quick so we can go ahead and get out of here? I want you guys to enjoy your Friday. I want you to have a great weekend. Be safe out there. I want you always thinking sync, and the sting is the thing, baby. Tell you what, we don't talk about the technical aspect of actually creating the music for sync that much, because I always lean more towards the sync hustle, the hustle mindsets part of it. But if you guys want me to talk about actually constructing music for television and things that could help you in that aspect, put a one in the comments and we'll get into the actual music production. Because I got some game, man. I could teach y'all some stuff for real. And we'll get into that next week, you know. And I say that because I say the sting is the thing. I call myself the unofficial king of the sting out. I love the sting out. As a matter of fact, okay, so this is what we'll do next week then. You guys remind me. Next week we're going to talk about the AI stuff that we talked about, and then we're going to get into some technical stuff with the music, you know, into the music production and how to really level up in that area. It's really just about, that one part of it is getting to a point where you are pitching your music, right? So there's a bunch of stuff you learn to get to that point. And then once you cross that road, now you're pitching your music. Now you want to get your music picked. You're in a field now to where it's very competitive. There's a lot of people that are pitching their music, right? And so how does yours get picked? It has to stand out. Now, how does it stand out when you know that they want something specific, right? So if they want, EDM, or they want something trap or whatever, and a lot of guys are sending trap stuff over there, how do you make your stuff stand out and really have that ear candy to that sparkliness, that shininess, to where, like, in a playlist full of music where other people send stuff, yours can stand out? Well, I'm going to tell you, but not today. I'm going to tell you next week. And I'm going to let you guys know a few tips and tricks that can really, really, well, not can, that absolutely will really level up your sync game as far as, standing out in those playlists, uh, and leveling up those placements. So we'll get into that next week. Nico, we're at the end, man. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Don't apologize, man. Anytime you give us, we appreciate it, especially me. If you give me 30 seconds of your time in your life, I appreciate that. So you popping in here on the live is all love, man. 100%. Because you're the best. You're the best. So that's it. Nico's out there getting that bag for life, that bill money. I got you. I got you. So absolutely, everybody. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I don't think we have any more questions. This is being recorded, so you guys can just pop back in here and watch anytime. We do have some jewels in here for you guys this time. We drop some knowledge. And then next week, we're going to get into the music, man. We're going to get into sync and AI. But we're going to get into the music, though. And it's exciting for me because, like, I haven't talked about the actual production for a long time. So now that you guys are like steadily pitching, we want to level you up and make those music supervisors notice your music when when it's you're sending music with a bunch of other people. You want it to stand out. So we can help that for sure. So with all that being said, we are 1 hour, 24 minutes into the live Sync Hustle Mindset. We do this every Friday where we talk about all things sync, hustle, and mindset. It's been another great one. I love you guys. Thank you so much for spending time with me. And I'll see you next Friday. Hey, be safe over the weekend and keep making music. Be patient, do the work. That's what's up. I'm the producer whisperer. Peace.